All right, I've got members of Disq here with me. I have almost like the full band, which is the coolest thing ever. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hey. So I know might be a silly question, but why try to create a title out of your band name? Did you see someone else do this and want to take up the challenge?
No, I think it's something we were talking about doing. I think Shannon, actually, who's not part of this call, was the first person to bring it up, that we should retroactively make the band name an acronym. And we all liked the idea. And then that probably next to the artwork, the hardest process of making this record was naming it. And everyone pitched a ton of band or album names, and everybody, just wasn't loving anything, or nothing was really grabbing anybody. And then I think we just kind of like, oh, well, yeah, we were going to do that. Or like, we thought that would be a fun idea. And then we just started pitching a ton of them. And we stumbled on that one, and we all liked it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense in this modern world too. So
yeah,
I know, I thought it was cool.
We all kind of figured that it worked on, a few different levels.
Yeah, definitely. So what does DISC truly stand for? Because I didn't have time to look it up. I forgot to look it up. So that's my last minute question for you.
Well, had you looked it up, you would have had trouble figuring out what, because it's not published information.
Oh, so it's top secret.
It means whatever you want it to mean.
Okay, so it's one of those kind of things.
Oh, I will say, on the acronym thing, we had just decided that was going to be the album title, I think, and then we saw our friends Goon, which is this band out in LA. They released EP, because their name's Goon, and it was called Garden of Our Neighbor, I think, was the EP.
Totally. Mm-hmm.
And we were like, oh crap, that we and so I reached out to Kenny from Goon and was like, that's so crazy, we just also came up with this idea, like, is that chill? And he's like, oh yeah, that's awesome. So that's kind of a fun little story. But
I didn't even realize that happened.
Yeah,
that was so polite of you to ask first.
Cool. We're a very polite band.
Yeah.
We're an incredibly polite band as a whole.
You're from Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
So how did y'all meet up in Madison originally? And are you all from Madison?
Yeah, so let's see here. We're not all from Madison originally, like exactly. Well, I guess Logan's the only one that wasn't born here.
I was born there.
No, you were born here, right? You just didn't grow up here.
Yeah.
So yeah, Raina and I have known each other since Raina was born, basically. Our parents were really close, like work friends, and so we were just like always kind of hanging out. We were little kids, and there's a while where Raina's family lived down the block from mine, so we would hang out a lot back then. And then I went to middle school and high school with Shannon and Stu. And Logan had also like independently kind of been listening to their band Post Social for a long time. And yeah, I played in a band with Stu called Dash Hands. That was their partner at the time's band. And Stu's a really great drummer. Everyone really always wants them to play drums in Madison, and so we kind of were like needed a new drummer or something, and hit Stu up, and then I had met Logan through some like Madison music scene kind of people, and thought that he was really, really good. And we were kind of like in the middle of a lineup change where like a couple people were leaving and going to college, and we were kind of like trying to find a new drummer. And so all that sort of lined up. And so we got Stu in the band. And then a little while later, Logan joined. And then we had 5 people for a while before. And I was just kind of trying to we're just kind of trying to bide our time and find a good 5th. And it was coming up that we needed to go play some shows and kind of do some stuff around our single that came out in 2018. And so then we asked Shannon to do that because I guess I think I was asking Stu who they thought would be a good person for that, and they've been playing music together for a really long time. So that was just the suggestion. So that was that's how we all got together.
Okay. Cool. Okay. That, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like you all have been around each other for a long time, which
Oh, yeah.
automatically creates this good camaraderie, which I love. I'm going to ask you a couple Madison questions because I love Madison. So what are some of your favorite Madison spots to hang out right now?
Oh boy.
Let's see. Okay, I'm a big Governor's Island fan. I go out there a lot. When I don't live in Madison anymore. When I used to live here, I would go paddle boating at Wingrove all the time. That's top tier Madison activities. I guess you can do that in most places, but it's also good here. I try to think of food stuff. Eat a lot of Morris ramen. Place is delicious.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've had some of their ramen. It's really good.
Very good.
Yeah. Okay. Lunchtime, we're all hungry.
Yeah.
What are the spots that you're talking about?
Logan or Isaac,
No,
do you have
you.
any spots? Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you say you had a bunch?
Oh, I have a bunch. I guess, I don't know. Do you remember that deli that used to have the carousel? That was always my
Deli?
go-to. I was always really into going there. And I know that it's outside of Madison, but I really liked I can't say the full word, but the barn in Spring Green is really
Yes.
cool. Also, gosh, there was the Dragonfly Adventure show there, and I thought that was kind of cool. It felt very vibey. And also the public library there when they did the renovation. I was there the night that they tore it down, and then they were going to rebuild it, and that was kind of a cool experience. So I've got good memories of the Madison Public Library.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love Woodman's. I love the East Side Woodman's grocery store.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time there.
Cool.
I like Yahara Park. It's really nice. It's a nice park. As far as bars, we're me and Isaac live 2 blocks from the Spar Players. It's this little divey Wisconsin bar, cash only, and they have really good burgers. For a fancier drink, Mint Mark's really good.
I like the Muska Lounge. I go to the Muska Lounge, Bluegrass Jam at the Muska Lounge.
They make good drinks there.
Make good drinks. They're connected with Mint Mark. Drink program.
For food.
Also for Boney's.
Oh yeah.
For Boney's Italian, you get a 4 meatball sub for $5. Pretty good. Free smoking deals over there.
I work at this venue called the Baroque, which I'll plug. But they also have a really good restaurant connected called Ahan. It's kind of Southeast Asian kind of cuisine. It's really delicious. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Listeners, readers, take note of all these places. Okay. And what are, some Madison bands that you guys are really digging at the moment that maybe some of us haven't heard of yet. Who would you like to shout out?
I know
Well,
who can shout it out first.
Isaac and I record a lot of bands here in town. So we have, through that, I think we, foster some love with some of those bands. There's this band called Combat Naps, and that's like our friend Neil. It's really kind of his project. And he's just like a mad genius, just does everything himself and just in his basement, really cool, zany stuff.
Mhm.
Let's see, we all three of us share, we're friends with this band, Interlay, that Isaac and I have been recording. Who else?
Graham Hunt.
Yeah,
Former
that's me and Isaac's
Milwaukeean.
roommate.
He's
Yeah.
former
Right.
Milwaukeean, and
Mhm.
yeah, he lives in our house now.
Cool.
Trying to think of something that I don't have like an immediate personal connection to.
That's okay if you do.
Coordinated Suicides is pretty cool.
That is
It's like some crazy, really intense, kind of post-punk, kind of metal shoegazy stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. I'm gonna check all these out because I've heard of 0 of them.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you. All
You'll
right. Well,
probably
except for
think it's
Graham. Everybody's heard of Graham Hunt by this point.
when you live in Milwaukee, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so. So tour starts on Wednesday, which is November 16th. And this is your first headline tour. So what does that mean to each of you to be the headliner on a tour? Because I'm sure you've been on tour before as the opener.
It's really exciting. It's I have a lot of mixed feelings about it. There's something really great about doing a support tour where you don't have to carry the stress of like, oh, what if nobody shows up? It's not really on you in that way. Also, it's usually majority new people that haven't heard your music before, so it feels like there's like a lot of room to expand when you're playing those shows. But it's not that often anymore in recent years that we've gotten to play a longer set. It's mostly been like 30-45 minute sets. So now we get to really kind of think about like more of an arc of a show and how we want to do that. We got some funny visuals to put behind us. We get to work on all the like little details of stuff that typically is just like not really in play when you're doing a support tour. So that's really exciting. It's been a long time coming. We had a big headline tour planned in 2020 and got canceled and rescheduled. So this is our first big one.
Yeah, it's exciting. I like the idea of like adding the visuals too and making it more like an event than just like a regular set. That's cool. Are you driving the entire tour? Are there like any tourist stops you got planned on the way on this adventure?
Oh, I'm trying to think if there's.
We are driving the whole way. One thing we were talking about was we were playing in Santa Cruz for the first time, and I guess the venue we're playing at is like 5 minutes from the boardwalk. So hopefully it'll be a nice day and we can go spend some time down there, because I've been there once before just myself, and it's a blast.
Yeah. Anywhere else you're like jazzed to go?
Well, I'm really excited to play. We're playing a show in Salt Lake City, which to me is more of a tourist stop than that's what it's registering for in my mind as like a little vacation moment more than we're going to play a show. Love Utah. I'm really excited about that. But we have a lot of, it's really hard to plan stuff like that, especially with the kind of routing that we have on this tour, because we have a lot of like days where we have an 8-hour drive and then like sound check, in early afternoon.
Okay. Hopefully
So
the weather holds out for y'all.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so, you're going to be on the road over a major holiday weekend. What are your families thinking about this? Are they supportive? Are they cranky about it?
I think they're, nobody's happy that we're gone for Thanksgiving, but everyone's pretty okay with it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually going to be in DC on Thanksgiving, which is where my partner's family is from. So
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool. That's convenient.
yeah.
Nice. Okay, so it's not as bad as it could have been.
Yeah.
All right. So you play High Noon Saloon in Madison on December 10th to finish out your tour. Well, do you have a history with the venue? I know you've played there before, but is there anything super special about High Noon for y'all?
Uh, uh, it's it's special because it's kind of like just like the only place in Madison that we can really play now. Like unless we wanted to like play like get like Mickey's or like do like a little house show or play at a bar or something. It's kind of the only place that's made sense like for the last, I don't know, however many shows we've played.
Yeah.
Um,
Since the frequency left
Okay.
Madison,
yeah.
which is the venue
Yeah.
used to frequent.
We've played there a lot. I've always really, I mean, even regardless of, the connection of having played there a lot and living in Madison, like I think even from an outsider perspective, it's a really great venue. I mean, it always sounds good. It's got a nice vibe, and I've always really, it's one of my favorite places to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a really big room. So it's kind of
It is. It's
daunting
hard
to fill it up,
to make
but
it look full for sure.
yeah, definitely.
Hopefully,
So
we'll probably do well on this one. We'll see.
yeah, it's like your homecoming show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Collector came out like the week of the pandemic pretty much. How
Mhm.
did that affect things for that album and also for this current one that you just wrote and put out?
Well, it was pretty bad for the
Yeah.
uh,
But you made it through. You got a lot of accolades for that
we-
first record. So so it
yeah,
seemed like it turned out
yeah.
favorably overall.
No, it certainly could have been worse. Yeah, no, it had a pretty negative effect on it, especially, I mean, just like, I think it kind of happened where like, instead of, we had like a really kind of good buzz going on built up at that point, and instead of like taking that and then like taking that all to the next level, it kind of stayed at that level, which was not like, it wasn't like super bad. It wasn't like, it was exciting still, but there was definitely a lot of potential that was lost there.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and
I'd say it was a
yeah,
net
I don't know.
negative. It was a net negative for Collector, but it was a positive for the new record because it allowed us
Yeah.
more time to flesh out a record and something that we could be very proud of.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I figured maybe it gave you more breathing room to like approach something new with
Yeah,
a lot more thought and kind of like absorb what you just put out and get
yeah,
into the new
definitely
thing.
did. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
things would definitely be very different if like not even saying for better or for worse, if the pandemic hadn't happened. I think the band would be a pretty different thing right now.
Yeah. I imagine like for a lot of bands, writing new records during that time kind of felt like a necessity just to get through the day to day, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was hard. I mean, I don't know about for everyone else, but it was like I had a very hard time like doing anything creative kind of during the pandemic. I was really just like, on my kind of day-to-day survival thing. I mean, not even, that it was like hard, but just like not really even focusing on that at all. And yeah, I mean the three songs of mine, at least, that ended up on the album are three of probably like five or something that I wrote that whole time. Um, so yeah, it was very different. But I do think it was also nice though, because it kind of, this could be taken as a bad thing depending on how you're thinking about it, but it kind of gave us all a shot to like really develop stuff pretty fully on our own, like each of us who were writing the songs, and then we kind of brought them all into the group versus like us all working on them together or like, something else. So I think that definitely affected the way that the record is in a pretty huge way.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and was gonna ask, is writing something you all regularly do solo because you each bring your own songs into the mix? Like, I'm assuming you are all at home, kind of writing, and do you come together eventually to bring things together to life? Has this process been the same all along since the band started? Like, you write solo and then come together with the songs, or?
Well, I think it changes, but um, maybe Isaac and Raina could speak more to what the process was before it was the five of us, but um, at least for this record, like Isaac was saying, because of the pandemic, that certainly that was part of it. Was we all kind of brought fully formed songs to the table, so we're all have very active imaginations and know exactly kind of what we want out of a song. So like a lot of times is like the demo that we presented to the band is already like most of the way there, but then what we do is, for this record anyways, that's how it was. And then we kind of like whittled down the pool of songs, and then we had a couple big rehearsals where we played the songs all together, and that like would slightly change some things, like once we were playing with the band, like that, just shift things a little bit. People would bring their own flair, so that's kind of fun. But yeah, I mean, I think that like this record, like that's just like kind of like how it needed to be in a way, because it was different. It used to primarily be Isaac, who is the singer and songwriter for the band, and with some contributions. Raina did a lot of the co-writing and co-production on those first records as well. But then this record, I think there was kind of a conscious effort to be like, well, we're all here and we're all part of this and we're all songwriters. So I think in a way, like, I think me and Shannon feel that way anyway, so that we kind of like felt like, well, we really want to like insert ourselves, and like make it known that like we can do this thing too. But in the future, hopefully it'll be, I think none of us really want to do it like that anymore. I think we want to be a lot more collaborative. I think I certainly, for me, I just want to like write a song just with me and a guitar, me and whatever, and then bring that to the band and be like, let's figure this out together. Because we're all, bring different things to the table, and I think interesting things could come out of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I know Isaac and Raina have been, like you said, the main songwriters. Yeah, I would be interested to hear how things kind of shifted when you get the full breadth of everybody. But we've been playing Cujo Kitties, which is a Raina song. Raina, do you have anything you can tell us about the song, the title? What does it all mean? Give us a little backstory.
Yeah, I can tell you a little bit about that song. So yeah, I wrote that song I was living out in the desert in Arizona, really, really isolated for, I think it was like 3 months that I was out there, just didn't know anybody else there, didn't speak to anybody else. Which was the best thing I've ever done, and also hard in other ways, but was incredibly necessary. It was the only way I was going to get these songs for this record out. And I wrote it, the songs kind of got like three 3 sections, 3 kind of movements. And I wrote it chronologically, start to finish, with a break of a few months, if not longer, between the different sections when I wrote them. So it's kind of a, each section is, I don't know so much a response to the section before, but just an update on where I was with the same kind of issues and things that I was chewing over when I started the song. So the first section I wrote from a really, really awful dark place, but I wrote it to kind of cheer myself up, that was kind of my goal with all of my songs in this record. I didn't really want to make any sad songs. I figured out at some point during the pandemic that it actually just does make you feel better if you listen to happy music when you're sad, and it does make you feel worse if you listen to really depressing music while you're already down in the hole. So I kind of wrote the first section to try and like boost myself out of that. And then by the time I got to the last section, kind of realized that I had made it out of that place. So yeah, I like that song. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys like it and you're playing it.
Yeah, I mean, it does. I feel like improve my mood when I listen to it. It's like upbeat. Yeah, it's a good one. We love it over here. So, I guess kind of to round out the interview, number one, I think it's really cool you have Graham Hunt on your record because, being from Milwaukee, we all know Graham Hunt, and he's a great guitarist, great vocalist. He's awesome. So that's cool. I guess, being kind of not such a new band anymore. You guys have been around for what, almost 10-ish years, it feels like, at this point. You're such a guitar focused band. Do you see yourselves growing, changing? Do you think that sound just comes from being from the Midwest? There's like a lot of guitar heavy bands from the Midwest. Do you see yourself growing and changing in sound, or do you think you're just going to go full steam ahead, like long live indie rock?
I'm sure that we'll probably you'll probably see some of both sides, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
We're definitely, I don't think we're ever gonna fully, I mean, maybe for like an adventurous album or something like that, but we're probably never gonna fully leave the guitar behind. But also, like, as you can hear on the new record, there's like a lot of stuff that's a bit more, a bit less guitar focused and more kind of like electronic, or like just, made with kind of a different, not that like guitar band kind of attitude or whatever. So yeah, I think, we all like have like lots and lots of guitar music that we like listen to all the time. And, I think everyone's very heavily influenced by a lot of, classic and like newer kind of guitar bands. But we also like, yeah, we're also trying to branch out, and we're definitely not entirely committed to it, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I
we'll
mean,
see.
like Raina's songs, on the record, I would say, are not very guitar focused. There's guitar on there, but they're definitely pretty expansive in the sound, and like that really excites me a lot. Like Raina's songs excite me the most, and like I would personally like to like continue to push outward in that way. And maybe it's just about like viewing the guitar in a different way or something like that. Still using it, but maybe not quite as conventionally or something. But I'm really excited to play Raina's songs live. We've been practicing them. It's been really fun. And I think that like it feels new and exciting to me. So like anything I can do to make things feel new and exciting, I want to do.
Cool. All right. So if our listeners are watching this, Give them, your best reason why they should come hang out with you on December 10th at the high noon.
Me and the drummer are gonna fight live on stage. How about that? Fight to the death on stage.
All right. Throw down.
I'm gonna kiss somebody.
Okay. Okay.
Either Isaac or Shannon. I don't know who yet.
All right.
Okay.
Isaac, what are you gonna do?
Well, I don't know how to top those things.
You should learn how to breathe fire.
Okay, I hear that's not actually that hard. It's more about getting over the fear. I could do that.
All
We'll
right.
see if we have time to learn on the road because it'll be a quick journey back. But yeah, I'll try. I'll try breathe fire. We'll see.
All right. Expect some hijinks at that show.
Mhm.
Well,
They're gonna be
this-
dark hijinks.
Yeah, dark hijinks.
Very dark.
Heading your way.
Mhm.
Thank you for your time talking to me. The new record is out called Desperately Imagining Someplace Quiet on Saddle Creek Records. Find it all your local record shops. Thanks for talking to me. Have a
Yeah,
great
thank
show
you.
in Madison.
Thank you. Have a
Thanks.
great day.
Thanks, Erin.
Thanks.